Hey yo, what's cracka, lackin, big smackin? My name's Emperor, help me spell backwards, and it's been about a week since Black Ops 7 Zombies dropped, and today I'm going to talk a tiny bit about campaign and multiplayer, but mostly zombies. So if you guys want to hear a full review of Black Ops 7 Zombies, I'm not going to talk about cursed mode yet, because I haven't played it, and I don't think that would make sense for talking about the base game. I think that should be its own video, but I am thoroughly enjoying base game, and I want to talk about it, both negatives and positives, because there are a lot of both. I know I said that I wasn't going to do a review this year, but I kind of lied whenever I said that. I'm not going to do a review of the maps themselves. I don't feel like doing that. I'm just going to do a review of launch, and then a review at the end of the game's life cycle, talking about my favorite parts and least favorite parts about the game. To get to the point, short and simple and sweet early on here in this review, and then we'll kind of get into more detailed stuff after. I really enjoy the Easter egg steps in this map. I thoroughly enjoy the Easter egg steps, as a matter of fact. The wonder weapon is amazing. The map itself is aesthetically pleasing. The things you can do, like side quests, are fun and engaging. I genuinely do think this map has a lot going on for it, and the atmosphere itself is also very nice. The art style and the color and contrast is finally back after years of not being there with Black Ops 6, Cold War, Vanguard, MWZ. A lot of the complaints I would have with Black Ops 7 are things I complained about in Black Ops 6, but Cursed Mode may fix that, or may not. I'll be playing through it this weekend and doing another review on the Cursed Mode itself, so look forward to that whenever it comes out, but I am thoroughly enjoying a lot about this game, like these fog areas that you're seeing on the screen right now, or the different wonder weapon steps you gotta do and the visual style of them. That's really cool. The wonder weapon itself, the Necrofuller Gauntlet's sick. The jump pads are a unique way to do fast travel, and I am really, again, just liking the look and feel of the map so far. It plays well, it's nice, and the lockdown steps aren't annoying. Toxic growth is actually kind of good for these lockdown steps, so it actually plays a good part and has a good use. I love that the Easter egg feels like I really had to work together with a team to solve it and to do it. I really think that is something that's been missing from zombies for so long, is the work together part, the teamwork part of it. The cutscenes are beautiful and beautifully crafted. I mean, these things are pieces of art, and I love the aesthetic of the cutscenes. I love the story. I love the character interactions. I love the way they all talk, and so far, I'm actually engaged in this story for the first time in what feels like a very long time in the Call of Duty Zombies timeline. My boy Richthofen's back and just as zesty as ever. I love him so much for that, and people like Carver and Gray are not as boring anymore because they can interact with more than just the Requiem crew. I love the clock tower aesthetic in the one Easter egg step, and I love the fact that you have to do ciphers to solve other ciphers within the Easter egg. That itself is also fucking cool. One somewhat bad thing about the game is nostalgia. I really don't like shoving nostalgia down our throats just to be able to get the game to sell better. I do like certain bits of nostalgia, like the Ascension rocket launch that you get in this map is really cool, and I watched it from multiple different perspectives, and again, it was just so sick, but I don't like the idea of using nostalgia as a way to get me to like the map more. As much as I do like it, I don't think that nostalgia is necessarily the best way to go about making maps. It really feels like I, as a classic fan, I'm not the one obsessed with nostalgia. Treyarch is, by shoehorning it into every single thing they can, and the rocket launch is just an example of that. But hey, these different shots I got, man, I don't know. It's got me feeling giddy inside. You know what I mean? One issue I also really have is the boss fight. This boss fight is really annoying. It's not the difficulty. I like a hard boss fight. Hell, I play other games with hard boss fights, like for example, Remnant, Dark Souls, stuff like that, and I don't mind a hard boss fight. What I do mind is whenever the boss fight is just blatantly annoying. The boss sends out a ton of these little red circles, and if you slide out of one, the odds are you're going to slide into another because there's like 12 of them in any given area at the same time. Not counting the zombies, not counting the Xerxes that spawn in, not counting the fact that you have to do primary damage with the truck itself, the Wonder Vehicle, which is really annoying when the truck doesn't make it invincible and you can still die in it. But hey, it led to this great cutscene at the end, which I genuinely think is one of the best cutscenes in COD Zombies history. I really like this cutscene. It got me very interested and intrigued. It's cool aesthetically. The character is speaking nicely, and then, you know, he also has a bit of another language he started speaking. Treyarch, are you giving me another language to learn? Please? I'll kill for it, Treyarch. You have no idea how badly I would learn Apotheken, Keeper, and what is this one? Come on. The Easter egg actually feels long and lengthy. It feels good in a genuinely fun way, and not just oh, I just want to do this to get the rewards kind of way. This map doesn't feel like something you can just camo grind on, and that's great because that's what the survival map is supposed to be for. But if I'm going to talk about one thing as well that I really think is kind of funny that other people seem seem to disagree with me on this, but I really, really like Bessie the truck. I think Bessie is a fun addition to the map because it genuinely feels like something I've been complaining about for a long time with maps, which is map-specific mechanics. I want mechanics on the map to feel good. For example, these spore eggs that you can see on the screen that I'm doing, they're cool, but they're nothing new. We've seen this type of thing a million times, but we haven't really seen a wonder vehicle that's utilized in the map in such a unique way before. And we've had the Bloodburner in MWZ, but we never had anything this unique and this integrated into the game itself and into the gameplay loop. And while you might not like the truck or having to drive it, I think it's a cool and unique map mechanic that I hope only stays on this map and doesn't come into the future maps. One big issue I have is the HUD. I don't like the HUD. It's ugly, it's disgusting, it's way too crowded. Design-wise, it is just bad. And you might be able to say in the comments, oh, well, we can tell you're not an OG fan because you play with this HUD. You haven't turned off the minimap or the radar or the score streaks or medals. That's the thing, though. I literally have turned them off. Every time I ever turn them off, they come back on within like a minute or two. They just are broken. They don't go away. They genuinely won't stay away. I don't want these. I don't want these medals, Treyarch. I don't want these kill feeds. I don't want the minimap. I don't want the radar. I don't want any of it. Get rid of it. It's gross. It's ugly. Get it off my fucking screen, man. Not to mention, it's bugged again. Whenever you go to use the HUD in multiplayer, it is once again the same as zombies, even though they fixed that problem last year where they made them separate HUDs, multiplayer and zombies custom HUDs, but this year it's not like that. It literally went right back to being to where if you change your zombies HUD, your multiplayer HUD changes too, and it's like, dude, what if I'm trying to play multiplayer? Like, am I just not allowed to use the same, like, to use different HUDs? I don't understand. I don't have much to say for high rounds other than they're pretty fun, you know. I mean, I think the high rounds are pretty cool. I like the fact that it's not the mutant injection spam like last year. I like the fact that there's actual somewhat strategy involved, which includes stuff like the trap strat or using Bessie the truck because Bessie's invulnerable, so until it blows up, you then get out, you go to the trap strat again. I like stuff like that. It's better than in the beta where you just use the RCXD to drive it into an ammo crate, and then that was pretty much it for the whole round. So overall, I would say that the high rounds have improved this year, at least slightly on this launch map. Again, this is just launch. Last year, the problem was that Terminus and Liberty Falls had a great launch and were received pretty well at first, but then everything kind of went downhill throughout the game's life cycle, and I'm really hoping Treyarch doesn't do that again, because that's a pretty bad pattern to get into with zombies. I also really like that each and every area of the map, each place of interest, each POI has its own unique story elements to it. Meanwhile, last year, each map had its own story elements to it, but they were really just kind of background stuff for that map itself, and they really didn't expand upon themselves in any way. Meanwhile, the main story got to progress and continue, and even then, it didn't expand much either. This year, it's cool because in the intel system, we have different audio logs from different areas of the map, different places of interest. For example, the Van Dorn farm, the Van Dorn family, there's multiple audio logs with them. At Exit 115, you get to hear a story about Earl and Reba and how they're serial killers and they killed each other. It's really cool to see stuff like that as a lore nerd, where you actually expand the story of not just the map itself and the main progress of the overall story, but the different unique areas in the map. It kind of reminds me of Arthur back in the, Leroy Jenkins back in the days of Buried on Black Ops 2. It really reminds me of that kind of stuff where he was the, servant of the Wolf King and then ends up in Buried. I love that kind of stuff, and I'm glad to see that coming back to a degree here. Speaking of coming back to a degree here, I really like the TED tasks, which are basically the SAM trials from the previous game and just the Intel trial, like the regular trials from Cold War. I do like the TED tasks. I think that some of them are ridiculous and broken and just don't work, but overall, I like the system, and on top of that, if you do TED tests in this game, you can get perma perks from Black Ops 2, meaning if you have every perk already purchased, you can get a mystery perk from the TED task, and it will give you a perma perk of that perk. That is sick to see perma perks coming back, especially since this game in spirit was supposed to be a sequel to BO2, and so it's just cool to see permaperks as a idea, as a concept coming back again, which is really nice, and I kind of hope to see that progress in the future. By the way, those spore eggs I mentioned that hatch different plants and give you different rewards, those also can give you permaperks and aether tools and stuff, so those are also a cool way to get permaperks as well, but the fact that permaperks are back is sick. As for campaign and multiplayer, real quick, I will say that I have played about 4 hours of the campaign so far. I'm not done with it yet. I'm almost done with the campaign, but I'm personally liking it. I actually do think it's unique, and the boss fights in it are cool to see, because for me personally, I'm kind of sick and tired of playing the same campaign every year, but I understand that a lot of people don't like it, and it's fair, because it's pretty bad. Overall, I think the campaign is pretty good for me, but I don't think it's a good campaign. I just think that it's cool to see like some unique mechanics and unique stuff added in, and it's kind of fun for me, but overall, I don't think it's a good campaign. As for multiplayer, I've played quite a bit of it during the beta, and I've played a little bit of it during the actual launch. Now, I've played some, and I gotta be honest, I think it's really fun. I genuinely do. I love the no-skill-based matchmaking. It's so nice. I mean, I know it's not perfect. I know there's issues with it. I'm sure people will correct me in the comments, but overall, I think that the skill-based matchmaking makes it feel better, you know? That being said, it's nothing special. The maps are nice. I like the 3-lane maps. I like the classic Treyarch feel to them. But overall, I mean, nothing blows me away about the multiplayer this year. It's pretty standard and bland. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe some people will be mad at me for that, but that's my opinion on multiplayer. It's just bland. Now let's talk survival maps, because I actually think I might have people disagreeing with me on this, but I think the survival map mechanic, the idea of the survival maps being different and separated from the regular maps, I think it's going to be bad this year. I don't see it being good. Van Doren Farm, in my opinion, is not great. It's a pretty bad survival map. There's nothing to do, which I understand is the entire idea behind a survival map. You just try to survive. But that's kind of pointless whenever you literally can't die. I mean, the trap strat alone takes out every single zombie in the round for at least like 20 to 30 rounds, if not more. And then if you want to get to round 50, it's extremely easy to just do trap strat and then circle and train until the trap comes back on, and then you can use it again. And so you can get round 100 or higher really quickly and really easily, especially if you start using things like monkey bombs, Casimirs, point turrets, and it's just completely bland and boring to do high rounds on it, which is kind of the entire point of the map. So it's just not that great. I've actually found myself playing Ashes of the Damned more than Van Doren Farm when it comes to survival, which is funny because Van Doren Farm is supposed to be the survival map. But the problem is that in this new game, the survival map idea is limited by the fact that there's quick revives, and then there's also equivalent exchange with quick revive, dying wish, then there's also self revives you can buy, and then there's also the trap strat, which pretty much just guarantees you a high round, and then there's just so much little to do when it comes to actual survival that it's just boring. But if I play Ashes, there's at least like side content, or there's at least other areas I can go to train in and to survive in without having to do any Easter eggs or anything. So for me, Ashes is actually a lot better for playing for regular high rounds and survival than Van Doren Farm is. It's not as fun. Now, like I said, I will cover Curse Mode in the future here soon with its own video, but one thing I do got to say about it, because I haven't played it, but I have seen Curse Mode footage and videos about it and heard friends of mine talk about it, and it just doesn't look like what I wanted. Curse Mode was marketed as a classic zombies feel. You can use relics to take away things and make it more difficult and make it feel more like classic zombies, but that's just not what it is. It does not do that. Sure, you get the old point system, but then Pack-a-Punch gets increased, which feels like a completely redundant thing to do. Whenever the original games didn't do that, you still had 5k for Pack-a-Punch, and then, yes, you have the new point system, but because of that, the Pack-a-Punch being increased makes it redundant. It doesn't make it more hard, it just makes it there. You can easily just use a damage-based weapon that's not going to get kills, but will get more points, like a shotgun that's not Pack-a-Punch, and just get a bunch of points together and buy the Pack-a-Punch. It's really not hard to get points in it, so because of that, making Pack-a-Punch feel more expensive is just stupid. Plus, on top of that, there's a lot of things in Curse Mode I know are there that I haven't done yet, but I know is going to annoy me, like the fact that for one of the relics to get unlocked, you have to fight a bunch of shock mimics. That really irritates me. I don't want to see mimics keep coming back. But to double down on that, Treyarch also added them back in another relic, which makes it to where if you want to, you can just turn on fake items, which means a bunch of items are going to be in the map that are actually just mimics, not items, and because of that, there's just a bunch of mimics in the map now, and I don't want to see mimics again. We had them in MWZ, we had them in Outbreak, we had them in Firebase C, we had them last year on the Tomb, and whatever other map they came in that I don't care enough to remember. One of the biggest issues I had with the beta was the Doppelgas coming back, and that's because one of the biggest issues with modern zombies in general is reuse of enemies. Stop reusing enemies. I'm so tired of seeing the same mini-bosses and the same elites every year. I don't care about the Mimic. It's been boring and dead for years now. Let it go, Treyarch. When I think of Curse Mode in the way that they made it sound like it was going to be, which was relics that would make it feel more like Classic Mode, to me, that tells me that I'm going to get old point system, the old perk system with the perk limit, but that there would still be side quests to be able to unlock more perks, because when you get the perk limit relic, you can't unlock more perks. No side quest for it, you just don't get more perks, which kind of feels counterproductive, because the old games let you do that. I think no armor, but instead we have a golden armor relic. And I don't know if there's a no armor relic yet, but still, the point that I'm making is that what is happening, man? Like, this is not what I was sold. It's not what I wanted. Now, don't get me wrong, the Curse Mode looks cool, and I can't wait to try it. It actually does look like a fun mode, but it's not what they marketed it as, at least not how I interpreted it. I'm hoping it's good though, but overall I do think that the base game itself is a lot of fun. I think it's been a great time. It's a good launch. It's not really an amazing launch. I mean, you know, lowest player count in years. People are just getting franchise fatigue from Call of Duty in general, but I think if you wanted my opinion, would I recommend buying this game? I don't know if I can say I would recommend buying it, but if you already have it or you have access to it or if you're already going to buy it, I do recommend giving it a try. It is a fun time. The map itself is beautiful. It feels like a really, really nice return to form of zombies, but in a way that only the modern zombies way can do it. I don't think that it's really a return to form for zombies, but I do think that it's better than anything we've seen in BO6 and in Cold War, and it's definitely better than MWZ and Vanguard. So hopefully that is good and promising for the future of the mode, in that the rest of this DLC content season is going to be good, especially since they already announced Astra Malorum. I'm really hopeful that that means that launch being good this year isn't going to be the same as last year, where Terminus and Liberty Falls were received well, but then it went downhill after Citadel and everything just kept going downhill. I hope that it stays on a good trajectory. I hope that they keep making changes to make the game mode better and feel more fun and more interactive. The Easter egg being engaging was great. The boss fight was easily one of the worst boss fights in Call of Duty Zombies history. That boss fight is terrible, and it's not because it's hard. I don't mind a hard boss fight. I like a hard boss fight. I do not like an annoying boss fight, and I do not like stupid-ass mechanics that make you have to drive a car into the boss fight. It was stupid, and I genuinely think this is one of the worst boss fights yet. I love the cutscenes. I love the character dialogue and interactions. I think that overall, this game has a lot going for it in the right direction. Things that I was hopeful for last year that we should have gotten last year, but we didn't. But I'm not going to let that hold me back from playing it. I already own it. I'm going to keep playing it. I'll let you guys know my opinions on it as time goes on. But overall, I'm not going to make another review. This is pretty much it. But I wanted to come on and say that I think so far the game is a solid launch. I think it's a pretty decent map. And I think overall, I'd probably give it, just like I did with Black Ops 6 Zombies, a solid 7 out of 10. Black Ops 6 Zombies ended up going down to a 4 out of 10 for me, so let's see what this game does. But right now, I'm very hopeful, and I think it's at a solid 7 right now. There's a lot to be desired, there's a lot to be worked on, but there's also a lot of really good love and attention and care put into the game mode now that I really do like a lot. To the point where I would actually say, and this might catch me a lot of flack, I personally like Ashes of the Damned more than I do Transits. I think it's a better map than Transit. It's got more engaging Easter egg. It's got a better layout. You can actually drive the car, so there's no more waiting on Ted, and if he just leaves you, you're fucked. You can actually have way more engaging side content, as the side Easter eggs are really fun. The setup takes a while and is engaging. You can play with friends. There's a lot of teamwork involved with the Easter egg. I think it's a fun time. Genuinely, I do. I don't like the Black Ops 6 modern mechanics that are added to it, and I think if this map was added to an older game, it would do a lot better. But overall, I do genuinely think this is a good map and a good step in the right direction for zombies, and I hope that Treyarch understands that, and I hope that they continue to make the game better, and ultimately, I don't think we're ever getting the modern feel that we once loved, but I do think that this is going to be a genuinely interesting year if this is the kind of content and quality that we're going to be getting throughout the season. Not saying we will. Like I said, Terminus and Liberty Falls had a great launch, then kind of fell off. I'm kind of hopeful that this game is going to have a great launch and stay good. I'm looking forward to Astra Malorum, and I will let you guys know my thoughts in the future. But for now, I'm liking the game. I think it's decent. I'll call it a 7 out of 10. And if you disagree with me on that, just remember, it's just my opinion. But if you do, you can subscribe so that you can hate me more. Feel free to leave a comment, actually. I think it would push me in the algorithms. so, hey, man, do you. But overall, this is my opinions on the game. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed watching. Hopefully, you don't completely hate me after this. And if you agree with me or disagree with me, leave it in the comments. But please, as a jokes aside, be civil to each other and to me. This is a community where I want to be peaceful and loving to each other. I don't want to actually hate on each other for no reason. So I will talk to you guys in the next video, in the next stream, in the next map. Peace out. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.